Leo was a young man from Earth who always dreamed of exploring the stars. He had joined the crew of the starship Horizon, a ship that traveled to distant planets in search of knowledge and new friends. Leo loved his work. Every day was full of surprises and new things to learn. One day, the Horizon received a message from an ancient planet called Valora. The message spoke of ruins filled with old stories and secrets. The captain decided to send a small team to explore the ruins. Leo was chosen to be part of this team. He was excited but also nervous. He did not know what they would find. The team landed on Valora and started to explore the ruins. The buildings were old and broken. Strange symbols covered the walls. Leo felt like he had stepped into a different world. As they walked deeper into the ruins, Leo saw something shining under the dust. It was a small book made of metal and stone. The book had strange writings on it. Leo carefully picked it up. Back on the ship, Leo opened the book. Inside, he found stories about heroes and battles, about peace and friendship between many alien races. The stories were old but still powerful. Leo felt a strong connection to the stories. They spoke of courage, kindness, and hope. Leo wanted to share these stories with others. The Horizon's next stop was the homeworld of the Valoran Empire. The Valorans were a proud alien race ruled by a queen. When the ship arrived, the crew was invited to the palace to present their findings. Leo brought the ancient book with him. The palace was huge and beautiful. Tall towers reached the sky, and gardens filled the air with sweet smells. The queen sat on her throne. She was tall with shining blue skin and eyes that seemed to see everything. When Leo showed her the book, she took it carefully. She looked at the writings with surprise. Then suddenly, she shouted, "Who wrote this?" Everyone in the room turned to look at Leo. His heart beat fast. No one expected the queen to ask such a question. Slowly, Leo raised his hand and stepped forward. He did not know what to say at first. Then he spoke clearly. These stories were written by many alien races long ago. They tell about the strength and hope in all beings. I believe that these stories are important for all of us to remember. The queen looked at him with curiosity. "But how do you know this? How can a human understand these words?" Leo smiled. "Because humans have stories too. Stories of courage and kindness. We learn from our past to build a better future. These stories belong to everyone who believes in peace." The queen listened carefully. The room was silent. Then she nodded slowly. "Perhaps you are right, but words are easy. Actions show true strength. I will test your people." Leo felt both fear and hope. He knew this was just the beginning. The Queen's challenge would decide much for humans and aliens. But Leo was ready. He was ready to show the galaxy what humanity could do. The great hall of the Valoran Palace was filled with alien leaders from many different worlds. They all watched Leo carefully. The Queen had called this meeting to decide the fate of humans in the galaxy. Many did not trust humans. They thought humans were weak or dangerous. Leo felt the weight of their eyes on him, but he stood tall and calm. The Queen spoke with a strong voice. "Humans say they have courage and strength, but words are easy. We need proof. Humans must show us they are worthy of respect. I give them a challenge." Leo listened closely. The Queen explained the task. There was a planet not far from Valora called Draconis. It was wild and dangerous. The planet held a rare energy crystal. This crystal was needed to power the Valoran Alliance's ships. Without it, the Alliance would be weak and vulnerable. Many had tried to get the crystal before. None had returned. The Queen wanted to see if humans could succeed where others had failed. "If your people can bring us the crystal," she said, "then you will have my trust and the trust of all our allies." Leo nodded. "We will try our best." The Queen smiled slightly, but gave no more words. The other leaders whispered among themselves. Some looked doubtful. Some were curious. Leo felt their mixed feelings but kept his focus. Back on the starship Horizon, Leo met with his team. They were a small group of humans, chosen for their skills and courage. Mira was the ship's engineer, quick and smart. Tariq was a pilot who could fly anything. Lena was a scientist who knew about strange planets and creatures. Leo explained the Queen's challenge. "We have to go to Draconis and get the energy crystal. It will be hard. We do not know what dangers wait there, but we must work together and trust each other." Mira smiled. "I like a good challenge." Tariq laughed. "Let's show them what humans can do." Lena added, "We have to be careful and smart." The team prepared for their mission. They studied maps of Draconis. The planet was covered in thick forests and tall mountains. Strange sounds came from the wild. The air was heavy and humid. It was clear that this would not be an easy place. When the Horizon landed on Draconis, the team felt the weight of silence. The forest around them was dark and full of unknown dangers. Leo led the way, moving carefully. The team used their tools and skills to avoid traps and find safe paths. Days passed as they traveled deeper into the forest. They faced many challenges. Sometimes, strange creatures appeared. They looked fierce but mostly avoided the humans. One night, the team heard loud howls nearby. Mira said, "We must stay alert. This planet is alive with dangers." Despite the risks, the team found clues that they were close to the energy crystal. Lena discovered strange plants that glowed faintly. "These plants grow near the crystal," she said excitedly. Leo encouraged the team. "We are close. Keep going." On the 5th day, they reached a deep cave hidden behind a waterfall. The cave entrance was covered with glowing crystals. Inside, the air was cold and quiet. Leo's heart beat faster. This was the place. They moved inside carefully. The walls of the cave shone with crystals of many colors. At the center, a large crystal pulsed with bright blue light. This was the energy crystal. Suddenly, a loud growl echoed through the cave. A large creature stepped out of the shadows. It had sharp claws and glowing eyes. The creature blocked their path. Leo and his team froze. The creature growled again, but did not attack. It seemed curious and cautious. Leo took a deep breath and stepped forward slowly. He looked at the creature with calm eyes. "We mean no harm," Leo said softly. "We only want to take the crystal to help our friends." The creature studied Leo and the team. After a moment, it moved aside. It seemed to allow them to take the crystal, but warned them to be careful. Leo and his team carefully lifted the crystal. The cave trembled slightly, as if the planet was alive and watching. The team moved quickly out of the cave and back toward their ship. As they traveled back, Leo thought about the Queen's challenge. This was more than a test of strength. It was a test of respect, courage, and understanding. Humans had to show not only that they were strong, but also that they could live in peace with others. When the Horizon landed back on Valora, the team was tired but proud. They carried the energy crystal with care. The Queen and the alien leaders gathered to see their success. Leo stepped forward and held the crystal high. The Queen looked at it and then at Leo. She smiled slightly. "You have done well, but there is one more test." Leo nodded. He was ready for whatever came next. He knew this mission was only the start of a greater journey for humans and aliens alike. The Velaran Queen's words still echoed in Leo's mind as he stood before her in the Great Hall. "There is one more test," she had said. Leo knew this meant the journey was not over. The Queen wanted more than just success in a dangerous mission. She wanted to see the true spirit of humanity. The next day, Leo met with the Valoran Council. The council was made up of leaders from many alien worlds. They looked at Leo with curiosity and caution. The Queen spoke again. "Leo, You and your team must now help us face a new threat. A dark force is rising on the edge of our territory. It threatens all our worlds. Leo felt the weight of responsibility. The peace of many planets was at risk. Tell me what we must do, he said firmly. The Queen explained. A group of rebels has taken control of an ancient weapon on a distant moon called Kyros. This weapon can destroy whole cities. If the rebels use it, it will bring war and suffering to many. Leo understood the danger. He looked at his team. Mira, Tariq, and Lena all nodded, ready to stand by his side. The council provided a small fleet to take them to Kyros. The journey was long and tense. Leo spent the time thinking about how to approach the mission. The rebels were unknown and dangerous. The weapon was powerful. They had to be careful. When they arrived at Kyros, the moon was dark and cold. The rebels had built strong defenses. Leo's team studied the area from the ship. They saw that the rebels were many and well-armed. Leo knew a direct attack would be risky. He suggested a different plan. We will try to enter the rebel base quietly. If we can disable the weapon without fighting, we will save many lives. The team agreed. Using small shuttles, they landed near the rebel base. The night was silent except for the soft hum of their equipment. Leo led the way through rocky paths and tall walls. Inside the base, the rebels did not expect visitors. Leo's team moved carefully. Mira hacked the security systems while Lena scanned for traps. Tariq kept watch. They reached the control room where the weapon was kept. The room was filled with strange machines and glowing screens. The weapon was a large device with many wires and energy cores. Suddenly, alarms rang out. The rebels had discovered them. Soldiers rushed to the control room. Leo's team prepared to defend themselves, but instead of fighting, Leo stepped forward and spoke loudly. We do not want war. We only want to stop this weapon from harming others. The rebel leader, a tall figure with a scarred face, appeared. He looked at Leo with anger and distrust. Humans? You think you can tell us what to do? Leo did not answer with words. Instead, he showed respect. He told the rebels stories of Earth, of humans who had fought wars but learned to live in peace. He spoke of hope and change. Slowly, some rebels lowered their weapons. They listened. Leo's calm courage made them think. Mira and Lena worked quickly to disable the weapon's core. After tense minutes, the weapon powered down. The rebel leader looked surprised but nodded. Perhaps there is another way, Leo smiled. There is always another way. The rebels agreed to meet with the Valoran Council to discuss peace. Leo's team returned to their ship, tired but hopeful. When they landed back on Valora, the Queen awaited them. She looked at Leo with respect. You have passed the final test. You showed strength, wisdom, and heart. The alien leaders applauded. Leo knew this moment was important. Humans were no longer just strangers. They were friends and allies. Leo thought about the stories in the ancient book. The stories spoke of courage and kindness. Now those stories were coming true. The Queen turned to Leo and said, You have shown us who humans really are. We will write new stories together. Leo smiled. He knew this was just the beginning of a new chapter for humanity and the galaxy. After the mission on Kyros, Leo and his team returned to the Valoran Palace. The Queen's praise still rang in their ears, but Leo knew their work was far from over. The galaxy was full of mysteries and dangers, and humans had much to prove. One morning, the Queen summoned Leo and his team once again. There is a new problem, she said. A signal came from a lost space station called Archon 9. No one has heard from it in years. It may hold secrets important to all our worlds. Leo felt a spark of excitement. We will investigate. The Queen nodded. But beware. The station may be unstable. The dangers inside are unknown. Leo's team prepared quickly. Mira checked their equipment. Tariq studied the maps of the station's orbit. Lena read old reports about Archon 9. The station was a relic from a long war. It was said to hold valuable technology and information. The Horizon flew to the station. When they arrived, the space station was dark and silent. Its metal walls were scratched and broken in places. The station floated alone in space, surrounded by small asteroids. Leo's team boarded the station carefully. Inside, the air was cold and stale. The lights flickered. Strange machines hummed quietly. The station felt like a ghost ship. They split into groups to explore. Leo led the main team toward the control center. Mira went to check the power systems. Lena examined the data banks. As they moved through the station, they faced many challenges. Doors were locked. Some corridors were damaged. Strange security robots still patrolled the halls. Leo thought quickly. He used human tools and ideas to bypass locks and avoid dangers. Mira repaired broken circuits with skill. Lena used her knowledge to decode old messages. In one room, they found a strange device that controlled the station's power. It was broken and leaking energy. If it exploded, the whole station could be destroyed. Mira worked fast to fix it. She carefully replaced damaged parts and stabilized the power flow. Her hands moved steadily, showing the best of human skill. Meanwhile, Leo and Lena discovered messages from the station's last crew. The messages told of a hidden secret, a powerful energy source deep inside the station. This energy could help many planets if used wisely, but it was also dangerous. The team decided to find this energy source. It was hidden in the lower levels, far from the control center. The path was blocked by fallen debris and old security systems. Leo led the way using human determination and creativity. They built simple machines to move heavy blocks. They used light sources to see in dark tunnels. They worked as a team, helping each other. At last, they reached the energy core room. The energy source was a glowing crystal, similar to the one from Draconis, but much larger. It pulsed with power. Suddenly, alarms sounded again. The station was losing stability. The walls shook. Time was running out. Leo and his team moved quickly. Mira set up controls to safely contain the energy. Lena downloaded all data to bring back to the Valoran Council. Leo made sure everyone was ready to leave. They raced back to the ship as the station trembled. Just as they boarded, a loud explosion rocked Archon 9. The station began to break apart. Tato. Horizon flew away safely, carrying the precious energy and knowledge. The Queen and the Council were amazed by the team's success. Humans had shown more than courage. They had shown great intelligence and teamwork. The Queen said, "Your people's minds and hearts are strong. You bring hope to the galaxy." Leo smiled, proud of his team. He knew this mission was another step in building trust between humans and aliens. Together they could face any challenge. The energy crystal from Archon 9 had brought new hope to the Valoran Alliance. Leo and his team were celebrated for their courage and skill. But the Queen's words stayed in Leo's mind. There was one final trial ahead. That trial came sooner than anyone expected. The rebel leader from Kiros had returned with a warning. A powerful creature had appeared on a nearby planet called Zorath. This creature was strong and wild, attacking anyone who came near. It seemed impossible to stop. The Queen called Leo again. "This creature threatens all life on Zorath and beyond. You must face it and find a way to bring peace." Leo felt the weight of this new challenge. He knew brute force would not work. The creature was not just dangerous, it was also intelligent. Leo needed to find a different way. Leo's team traveled to Zorath in their ship. The planet was covered with thick forests and high mountains. The air was fresh but filled with tension. Locals told stories of the creature's power and anger. Leo studied the reports. The creature was called Garak. It was larger than any beast Leo had ever seen. Its eyes burned with fire. Yet, the locals also said Garak protected something important in the forest. Leo decided to search for Garak's lair. Mira, Tariq, and Lena prepared for a difficult journey. They moved carefully through the wild land, listening to the sounds of the forest. One evening, as the sun set, Leo spotted strange marks on the trees. The marks were large and deep. They followed the trail quietly. At last, they found Garak resting, near a cave. The creature was huge and fierce-looking, but when it saw Leo and his team, it did not attack. Instead, it watched them with curious eyes. Leo took a deep breath and stepped forward slowly. He spoke softly. "Garak, we do not want to fight. We want to understand." The creature growled low, but stayed calm. Leo noticed something in its eyes, sadness and pain. Leo remembered the stories from the ancient manuscript. Many creatures and people were misunderstood. He believed that Garak could be reasoned with. He spoke again, telling Garak about humans and aliens who chose peace over war. He shared stories of friendship and hope. The team showed kindness and respect. After a long time, Garak slowly approached Leo. It allowed him to touch its fur. The creature seemed to accept their presence. Leo looked around and saw that near Garak's lair were signs of destruction. Trees were broken and the land was scarred. He understood now. Garak was angry because its home was being harmed. Leo promised to protect Garak's forest. He told the locals to stop hunting and harming the land. Garak, in turn, would stop attacking. The team worked to build trust between Garak and the people. Slowly, peace grew. When Leo returned to the Valoran palace, the queen greeted him with a warm smile. "You have passed the final trial," she said. "You showed courage, wisdom, and heart. You proved that true strength comes from understanding." The alien leaders applauded. Leo felt proud but humble. He knew this was a new beginning, not an end. The queen took the ancient manuscript and said, "These stories are alive again. Humans have written a new chapter with their actions." Leo looked around at the friends he had made. Together, humans and aliens would build a future of hope. After the success on Zorath, the news spread quickly through the Valoran Alliance and beyond. Humans had not only faced great dangers, but had done so with courage and wisdom. Leo and his team were no longer just explorers or strangers. They were symbols of hope and friendship. The Valoran queen called a great gathering in the palace. Leaders from many worlds came to honor Leo and his team. The hall was filled with light and music. Aliens of all shapes and sizes shared stories and smiles. The atmosphere was warm and welcoming. The queen stood before the crowd. Her blue skin shone like a star, and her eyes held kindness and respect. She spoke clearly so everyone could hear. "Today, we celebrate not only the bravery of these humans, but the spirit of unity that they have brought to our galaxy," she said. "They have faced dangers that many feared. They have shown that strength is not only in power but in heart and mind." Leo felt proud as the queen's words filled the room. He looked at Mira, Tariq, and Lena. They smiled back, tired but happy. The queen continued, "For too long, some among us doubted the place of humans in our alliance. Today we see that humans are valuable friends and allies. Their courage and wisdom will help us build a brighter future." Then the queen made a special gesture. She presented Leo with a medal made from the same crystal they had found on Draconis. It shone with a soft blue light. "This medal is a symbol of trust and respect," the queen said. "May it remind us all of what we can achieve when we work together." Leo accepted the medal with honor. He bowed respectfully to the queen and then to the crowd. Cheers and applause filled the hall. After the ceremony, Leo spoke to the leaders gathered. "This honor is for all humans and for all who believe in peace. We will continue to work hard and learn from each other. Many leaders came forward to shake Leo's hand or offer words of friendship. Leo felt the warmth of true acceptance. Later, Leo met with the Queen in her private chamber. She smiled gently. "You have done more than I expected. You showed us the true nature of humanity." Leo thanked her. "It was not just me, my team, my people. We all wanted to prove that humans belong here." The Queen nodded. "And you have succeeded. Now we will write new stories together, stories of hope and unity." Leo looked out the window at the stars shining brightly. He felt a new sense of purpose. The journey had been long and hard, but it was only the beginning. The celebration in the Valoran Palace lasted for days. Music, laughter, and stories filled the halls. Leo and his team were honored guests. But amid the joy, Leo thought deeply about what lay ahead. The galaxy was vast and full of unknowns. Trust was just the first step. One morning, Leo stood on the balcony of the palace. He looked up at the stars shining in the endless sky. The ancient manuscript, now kept safely in the palace library, had brought many worlds together. The stories of courage and hope were no longer just words. They were real. The Queen joined him quietly. "You have changed many minds, Leo," she said. "Your people are no longer strangers. You have become part of the galaxy's story." Leo smiled. "It feels good to belong, but I know there is still much to do." The Queen nodded. "Yes, but together we will face the future. Humans and aliens side by side." In the days that followed, Leo and his team worked with the Valoran Council to build stronger alliances. New agreements were made to share knowledge, protect planets, and help each other grow. Humans shared their ideas and technology. Aliens shared their history and wisdom. The ancient manuscript was translated into many languages. It became a symbol of unity across the stars. Schools taught its lessons. Leaders spoke of its meaning in peace talks. The galaxy began to change. Leo often met with young aliens and humans. He told them stories of the missions, of courage and kindness. He saw hope in their eyes. The future was bright. One day, as the Horizon prepared to leave Valora for new adventures, the Queen called Leo once more. She gave him a small, glowing crystal. "This is a gift," she said. "A reminder that you are part of something greater." Leo held the crystal carefully. He knew it was more than a gift. It was a promise that humans and aliens would explore the stars together as friends. As the horizon lifted off into space, Leo looked back at Valora one last time. The planet shone like a jewel below. He thought of all they had accomplished and all that was still to come. The stars stretched out before them, full of new worlds and new stories. Leo felt ready for whatever lay ahead. Together, humans and aliens would write the next great chapter in the galaxy's history. And somewhere in the quiet of space, the alien queen smiled and whispered, "Who wrote this? Now I know."